Hello there, I hope you're well. My name is Elliot Bibby and this is the Bibby Bullet. So this is what's included inside. You get your little instructional card there, the download card, which has a link to the tutorial, which I'll post after this video. And you also get your gimmicked cards in these nice little plastic sleeve here. So supplied you get 2 red bicycle playing cards and 1 blue one, with a burnt hole through it, just like this. So that is the gimmicked cards. Each of the cards, they are all different as well, so there's no duplicates in there, and yeah, that is it. So this, there's 3 routines, which I will cover shortly, using the burnt hole cards. 3 different routines. So the first one is a card is selected by a spectator, it's then returned to the deck, and then the one card jumps out of the deck of cards, it flies out, and as it flies out the spectator shoots it, and you catch it, and it's the card that they've just selected. The second method, second routine, is a spectator selects a card. You take it out, they're showing it around, you take it back and slot it into the deck of cards, half sticking out. You get them to sign it and push it into the middle. They then put their hand out like a little gun like this, it's loaded, so you can do all this sort of byplay. And then they pretend to shoot the deck of cards, and then when you spread through the deck of cards, there's one card that reveals itself in the deck which has a bullet hole in it, and when you turn it over it's their signed card, which they can keep for a souvenir. That's my favourite routine to perform, and it gets amazing reactions. The third routine is an any named card. So this isn't actually included in the whole package as such. Well, it is included, the routine and everything, but you have to, the person has to make up the deck themselves. So what you need is a full deck of burnt hole cards. You need 52 of them. It doesn't take that long. On the download I actually teach how you make these burnt hole cards, so you don't need any refills or anything like that. So you can make them yourself. And yeah, so it's any named card, and yeah, it's a really fun routine. There's no force, no rough and smooth, no thin cards. The spectator literally names any card at all, and you're able to go through the deck and show that the cards don't have any holes in them apart from one card, which is the freely named card. So yeah, that is the Bibby Bullet. I'll now leave you with the trailer and the instructions as well, the tutorial. Thank you.
That this is a super commercial trick, and this really does belong in the same set as, you know, all the things we consider classics in Magic, you know, like the ambitious card, the coins across, the double cross. This is just as strong and commercial as all of them, and it's very easy to do as well.
Hello, it's Elliot Bibby here, and thank you very much for purchasing the Bibby Bullet project. On this project you're going to learn 3 routines using some of the gimmicks that you get inside here. I'm also going to teach you how to create the gimmicks yourself, and also some bonus ideas as well. Let's get started. Included in the package of the Bibby Bullet, you get your download card, which you don't need because you're already watching this, and also you get these gimmicked cards which have a bullet hole through them, or it's made to look like they've been shot with a bullet hole. They've got a hole in them and they've been burnt around the outsides, but don't worry if you don't use red bicycle cards. We're going to learn how to make your own cards later on, so you can make these gimmicks for any deck of cards in the world. The first routine we're going to learn is the non-signed version. So you're going to grab yourself a red deck of cards for this example. You have your gimmicked card. For example, here we're using the Ace of Hearts, and you need to find the duplicate card in your deck of cards down here. So the gimmicked card goes on the top of the deck of cards, and then your duplicate goes on top, covering it like this. With that setup, you're now going to force the top card without revealing the second card underneath, because that's obviously the bullet hole card. So this obviously limits the way you can force it, but this is how I do it. I use a slip force with the cards tilted to myself. So you're going to say to the spectator, say stop as I riffle through the cards. They say stop, and then you come out like this. Now obviously I've slipped the card here. You can learn this from the Raw Road to Card Magic and lots of other places as well. So the force card is now here, the Ace of Hearts. So I offer that to them, they take it. I then come back and place the cards together like this, leaving me with the bullet hole card on the top. So to do that again, they say stop wherever they want, slip force, not revealing the bullet hole card over here. They take the card, these cards come back together. They then have a look at the card, they remember it, and then you take the card back and place it back into the middle of the deck of cards, not looking at it. You then get ready to make the card jump out of the deck of cards. So you say to the spectator, can you pop your hand out like a gun for me? They pop their hand out like a gun. Do we have a gun here? There we go, just like that. And you're going to say to them, one card is going to fly out of the deck of cards, and I want you to shoot it as it flies through the air. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And you get to do their bang noise or their gun noise as well. Now as that jumps out, you can then see, oh, there's one card there that has a bullet hole all the way through it. Your card, the Ace of Hearts, just there. Handling number 2. This is my favourite one to perform. This is the signed version of the Bibby Bullet. So again, you need exactly what you need for handling 1. You need a bullet hole card, so a card with a bullet hole all the way through it. You need the duplicate card, and it's going to be the same setup. So the bullet hole card goes on top of the deck of cards, and then the duplicate on top like this. You're then going to force the card in the same way, so any way that you like, obviously not revealing the second card. So again, we do the slip cut force, so say stop anywhere you want. They say stop, you slip it to have the card that you could add the 6 of spades, but then I know what it was. Have a look at the face down one, come back across like this. Now at this point you want to make sure that the bullet hole card is near the top. You don't want it at the bottom, you need it near the top. They look at the card, they remember it, the 4 of spades. You then take the card back. Now as you take the card back from them, you're going to do a top change. Now top change you can learn in many different publications, Raw Road to Card Magic is one, and lots of other people have taught it. Ben Earl has gone into lots of detail on it as well on his projects. So you're going to do a top change. Now as you do a top change, you're going to say a joke. Now the reason that you say the joke is to get this sort of get the audience to relax a bit, but we'll go into more detail with this in a second. Take the card back and you say, oh, it doesn't matter if I see the card, I've seen this trick before. Yeah, we're going with it. And as you do that, the deck comes together and you do a top change. Now as you do the top change, you're then going to obviously switch the card for the bullet hole card, and you're going to place it into the middle of the deck of cards, like this. So you've switched the card for the bullet hole card. You're then going to rotate from a sort of dealing position, grip down here, up here like this. You can then get the spectator to sign the card. So you take the pen, you sign that just on the 4. Perfect. Now you're very hands off at this point, and you can get them to then push it into the middle. Can you push it into the middle for me? Perfect. Now you need to remember the orientation of the deck now. So the bullet hole is up at the top. That makes sense. You're then going to get the spectator to shoot the deck of cards. So, can you pop your hand out like a gun for me? Loaded now. No messing around. I'm going to do a countdown from 3 down to 1 and you're going to shoot the deck of cards. You can do your best gun noise as well, okay? It could be like a little pew, a poof. It could be anything at all. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Very good, very good. Now at this point, you're going to spread through the deck of cards. And as you spread through, we come to one card that has a bullet hole straight through it. It's not just any card though, it is in fact the signed 4 of spades. This can now be handed out to the spectator to keep as a great little souvenir. So a few notes on the 2 handlings that we've seen so far. Once the card has been revealed with the bullet hole in it, you can actually get the spectator to feel it. They'll want to feel it and you can say to them, oh, can you feel that? It's actually quite hot, isn't it? It actually smells like it's been burnt as well, because it genuinely has been burnt. So that's nice little subtleties to throw in there. Another little pointer, if the spectator says, hey, can I have a look at the deck of cards after you've done the trick? Which 9 times out of 10 they don't bother, but if they do, don't worry though, because your duplicate card is on the top of the deck of cards, so you can easily just palm the card off into your hand and hand the deck out for them to examine, or if you really want to go over the top after the end of the trick, you can literally just palm the card off and put it in your pocket and just set the cards down. But honestly, you don't really need to do that, but that's just a little extra thing if you want to. Third effect, using the bullet hole idea, goes like this. So, cameraman, can you name any value of card? You've got like an ace, a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king. What value would you like?
10.
10, great. Now this 10, would you like it to be a red card or a black card?
A red card.
Red card. You weren't influenced by the big red thing on the top there, no? You want to change to black, or are you sticking with red?
Red.
Cool. So this red 10, would you like it to be a heart or a diamond?
Diamond.
Diamond, so the 10 of diamonds. Now, before we do this, I actually just want to tell you, this is actually a special deck of cards. It's a full deck of cards, apart from it has one card that has a bullet hole all the way through it. At this point you can talk about how you were playing cards and somebody walked into the room, shot one card on the table, the whole Bill Hicks story, if you're familiar with that. You've named the 10 of diamonds. If we open up these cards, let's have a look through. All these cards here, no bullet holes. Let's take out the 10 of diamonds, 10 of hearts, 10 of spades you could have had. Do we go past it? Oh, 10 of diamonds, right there at the front. And the 10 of diamonds is in fact the only one that has a bullet hole straight through it there. No other cards have holes through them. So the method for this is, that's right, you guessed it, you need 2 decks of cards. Now, don't worry, we're going to get on to how we actually make this later on in the tutorial, but you're going to have to make up 52 cards with bullet holes all the way through them. I know what you're thinking. I don't have time for that, Elliot. Well, you do. You're a magician. You've got plenty of time. You're twiddling your thumbs. You're waiting on gigs to come in. So that's fine. Alternatively, you can actually buy them from my website. 2 decks of cards already. Ship them straight out to you. Fine. So let's get into the actual effect. You're going to have an odd deck and an even deck. Now, what I mean by that is if we go into the even deck, every card that is even is going to have a bullet hole in it. Okay, so we'll move the odd ones off to the side. And I'm going to show you this. So all the odd cards just here, we're going to have a bank of odd cards at the top. We're going to have all our even cards here, which have bullet holes in them, up until the joker. And then we're going to have some more odd cards like that. That's 52 cards, 53, sorry, with the joker. And we've got the even ones in the middle and bank of 26 cards either side of the odd cards. And then that's going to be exactly the same in this deck of the odd cards here. So the odd card is going to have the bullet hole in them and the even cards are going to be either side. So we're only going to deal with the even deck for the moment, just to make it a bit more clearer. So you're going to start with maybe about 20 odd cards, which are whole cards. We'll call them normal cards. They're going to go on top of your 26 even whole cards, and then you're going to drop the remainder on top of there like that. So you're going to have the hole cards, bullet hole cards, and then the normal cards there like that. So this shows that you can, this basically means that you can show the whole deck as a normal deck of cards by spreading through them like that. Now the nice thing is that because the bullet hole is in the corner of the cards, it means you can spread through and seemingly show that they are all normal, but realistically you've got the bullet hole there in the corner. So to perform the effect, you start with the deck of cards in the box. I've actually marked these so you know with a little E and an O. So E for even and O for odd. So the cards will go into my pockets and you're ready to perform the effect. The first question I would ask the spectator is, what value of card would you like? And I run through them as well, because most spectators, they don't really know what values of cards are. So I say you could have an ace, a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king. Which value would you like? So they name the value, and the reason you want to get this value out straight away, I would encourage you to say value instead of odd or even, because if you say odd or even, in the spectator's mind, they're thinking, oh, well, you've just split them into two. Whereas if you say a value, then they'll just name any value, and in your head, you're splitting them into, is it an odd one or an even one? Which deck of cards do I need to pull out of my pocket? The reason that you ask for the value first is you want that deck of cards in play before you ask any other questions, so that when the spectator backtracks, they think that you have the deck of cards in play the whole time. But really, you've managed to get that one piece of information that you really need out from first. Let's say they name a 10. So you now know that 10 is even. You need to take out the even deck of cards. Now you notice that I looked down there at the deck of cards to make sure that this was the deck of cards that had the E on it. As a professional, I want to make my magic as simple as possible so that I can really focus on the presentation and that interaction with the audience. So I try to build in as many fail-safe practices as possible. So that's why we do the little E on there, so it's even, so that I'm not going, oh, which one was the odd, which one's the even, I don't know if I've got this right. I just want to make it as clear as possible in my head that I've got this right. Now you get them to name the colour, red or black. At this point, doesn't matter, you're just going to take them on this little journey. You can play up and flourish this as much as you want with the language that you use. So red or black, if they were wearing like a red jacket, you might be, oh, you picked red because you're wearing the red jacket. Maybe you're influenced by the red background behind us. You can go down all these different avenues, and it's a lot of fun to do with that. You can spread through the rest of the cards, showing that they are complete with no bullet hole apart from the 10 of diamonds that they named. Now, the reason that I use the joker in there is because sometimes you might get a smart person that say, oh, I'm going to pick the joker, and they'll try and catch you out. So the joker has a bullet hole all the way through it as well, and that is in both decks. Also, I placed the joker as the last card that has a bullet in it, okay? So that's going to be the last one before we then hit the normal cards again as we go through. So that's a good little indicator, so as you're spreading through, you know that when you're nice and tight, keeping those cards tight together, when you hit that joker, you can then be nice and free again with the rest of the cards there. Here's some presentational ideas that I've used with all three of the effects that I have just taught you. The first would be, think about how you're actually going to present it. Is it going to be a magical effect where the spectator comically shoots the bullet hole through, or is it more sort of a storytelling piece where you tell a story about how you were in a card game and someone ran in and shot some random gunshots, and this was the one card that you kept from that had the bullet hole through it. So is it going to be a storytelling piece? Is it a magic piece? Think about that, because that will affect how you actually perform it. That sun's in my eyes. Do you think that's going to affect the light? Some other things that I like to add are actual props or other utility devices. For example, you could have a smoke machine. So as you're holding that deck of cards and the spectator goes to shoot it, some smoke comes out, which is quite nice. Really play up as well the comedy bit when you get them to put their hand out like a gun. Sometimes when I'm doing it, they put their hand out like this and I go with the thumb. That's it, loaded now, no messing around. And sometimes they're pointing it straight at someone and I say, oh, don't point it at them, and you can point it at the floor. So there's so much comedy value that you can actually get out of them just putting their hand out. Really sort of milk this moment as well, because it's a great point for their friends to not really laugh at them, but to really like take some photos, videos of them, like, oh, what are you doing, you've actually got your hand like that. So it's a really fun thing to do. As well as the audience interaction using their hand as the physical gun, you can also use some verbal cues as well. So you could get the one person, the spectator, to go bang or make a gun noise. And over the years I've had some people make some noises you wouldn't even imagine, which is like pew pew or bang. A really nice thing to do is when I'm performing this at tables, because it is all up in the hand and it's quite up, especially the first two methods, it's up in the air, you can get the whole table to do it. So you've got one person standing up on the other side of the table from you. You do a countdown, you go 3, 2, 1, I want the whole table to go bang, really loud. You're there, you go 3, 2, 1, and then the whole table just goes bang, and it creates a really good focal point for the whole room. Really, everyone's like looking at, what was that? It's like when you're performing at a gig and you use flash paper, the whole room looks over like, what's that? So it really helps you out when you're working. So supplied with your Bibby Bullet pack, you do have 10 gimmicks that will last you a lifetime if you're not doing the signed version. But I would really recommend doing routine number 2, which is the signed version, because it's so strong and you get to keep the souvenir as well, which is pretty good. So what happens if you run out of your 10 gimmicks? Well, you can purchase some from my website, link down below, or this is how you make them yourself. You will have to make them yourself if you want to do routine 3, which is the thought of card, or you can just purchase them from my website again. But let's get into making them. You will need a few extra items to make these. You'll need a hole punch, you'll need a flower press, which is just 2 pieces of wood and some bolts and screws and nuts on there, or you can just use some very heavy magic books. You need a lighter and a paper clip as well, and obviously the deck of cards that you want to put the holes through. To start with, you're going to take your card, you're going to take the punch, and you're going to punch a hole through the card like this. So you want to aim to cut the hole, or to punch the hole, sorry, in between the lines here. You can see the border running here and then across here as well. You want to aim for the middle of there, that's the optimum point. When I'm making these up, I usually just do a whole deck, sometimes 2 or 3 decks in one go. So I'll just sit there punching away while I'm watching TV or the latest Penguin Live. Now for the burning part. Now you are using a lighter and a naked flame here, so be very careful. If you are younger of age, then get an adult to do this for you. I take no responsibility for what's about to happen. You're going to take the bullet hole card and your lighter, and what you're going to do is you're just going to light it underneath like this and go around in a little circular motion. Now what will happen is the card will go on fire like that, which is good. You're then going to have it burn. I'm going to do this really quickly for you. You're going to take the paper clip and you're going to go round in a circular motion like this. Basically putting that fire out. Use the paper clip to sort of smooth it off on the front and on the back. And there you have your gimmicked card. Now, I usually, because it is obviously black on this side, I usually take the lighter and I want to try and get it a little bit black on the on the back as well, just like that. And there you have it, your gimmicked card. Now this is all warped because of that. I usually just place it down, we go into the next one, exactly the same again, and once you've done a full deck it'll be quite thick, so you can place it into the flower press here, press it down or underneath your books and just leave them overnight, and then when you take them back out they will be nice and flat and ready to perform with. If you don't have a hole punch to punch the hole through the card, you can generally use any item at all to make that hole. So you could use a pen to pierce it through there like that, to make that good hole like that. You could use the headphone jack through there. So you just pierce that through and you get a nice hole through there. Great. You can even use a corkscrew to go all the way through, just like that, and yeah, you've got your nice hole through there ready to burn. If you don't have any of those items at all, just remember that the bullet hole doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, because you're going to be burning it anyway, so you could even just use your big toe. Thank you very much for purchasing the Bibby Bullet project. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I really hope that you go out and perform it. It is one of these things that may get overlooked, but I can guarantee you it does get incredible reactions. It's done me very well for over the years, and I hope it does for you too. If you do like this project, then you can check out my other projects on my website, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks again. Bye for now.